Actually, let's go back to the cafe and see if there's anything new around here. Well, he's back.
Hi.
You're the guy who gave me the tip, aren't you?
Yeah.
Huh?
The racehorse. Salah-ed-Din.
Oh. Yeah, but
I put every franc I had on that horse.
listen,
My lifetime savings, next month's rent, everything.
Oh, God.
He won by 3 lengths.
Nice.
I'm a rich man.
Call me Lucky George, the punter's friend. So how come you're still here?
Yeah, good question.
I'm not going to let my newfound wealth change me, not one bit.
Good
I
on you.
bought this hole, fittings and all. Now I can come and go as I please. No more clocking on or completion schedules. No foreman breathing down my neck. Thanks to you, I've found paradise.
I'm getting a mushy feeling in my chest. But not half as mushy as your head.
What do you want now?
You won a lot of money, and you bought a hole in the ground on a street. These people are nuttier than a fruitcake.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, I don't.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
I gotta go.
Don't let me keep you.
You're not. You're a waste of my time.
Hi there, remember me?
Ah, mais oui, Inspector. Have you found him?
Who?
The man in the sewer, of course.
I'm, sifting through the evidence.
Ah, rather you than me, monsieur.
Yeah.
That reminds me, someone's been impersonating you.
Oh?
Came sniffing around just after you'd gone. Bold as brass. He tried to tell me he was a policeman. Inspector Rousseau, he claimed.
Well,
I didn't tell him I'd been talking to you, not hours before.
well.
Thank goodness. Impersonating a police officer is a serious offense.
Mm-hmm. It is.
A man with so little respect for the law must be desperate.
Very.
Yes, my father used to say, desperation opens the door too. He was always coming out with things like that.
You're fine.
Stupid man.
Yeah.
So, when you are not exploring sewers, what do you do?
Investigate.
I take a lot of showers.
Oh, very good, monsieur. A policeman with a sense of humor.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Yes, I do. It's that villain I told you about.
The man in the sewers.
Do you recognize this matchbook?
I can't say I do, monsieur.
I have to be going.
Good luck, Inspector. I hope you catch that killer soon.
We will. Eventually. It'll just take a long time. Let's see what the cafe looks like. Well, evidently a crime scene. But not the usual kind of crime scene. A closed up place. And a cleaned up place. They work fast here with the cleanups, I guess. Oh, nothing here. Not anymore. Nothing to look at, nothing to take. No more people to speak to. If it's gonna show me on the map that I still can't go here, I have no idea why. Because it doesn't make any sense. You have no reason to go back in there. Instead, we go to Musée Grün. Nice looking place.
Through the grimy glass, I could see several large shapes in a gloomy room. What they were, I couldn't imagine. I considered smashing my fist through the pane, wrenching open the window, and vaulting triumphantly into the building. Then I thought, no, that's dumb. Besides, I might get hurt.
You might. If you bust it open with your bare hands, you would get hurt. In several ways.
Access to the side and rear of the museum building was blocked by a dense clump of bushes.
Bushes.
A real macho guy would have plunged straight into the spiky, scratchy bushes. Not me.
Why not? I mean, you might get a few scratches here and there. Interesting looking place. Definitely a museum. So, let's see.
The attendant had an air of self-importance and the kind of steely eyes that never seemed to blink.
So he's definitely a guard.
It was a statue from ancient Egypt. Those old civilizations sure could teach us a few things about art and beauty.
Well, that's true. They did have great art. To say the least.
A metal rod attached to the wall was connected to the window.
It usually opens the window. That's what it means.
The case contained some fragments of pottery. They looked to me like broken flower pots. Above them, a sign read, L'Age Paléolithique. The case contained 2 rows of silver coins.
Coins?
Each coin on the lower row showed a portrait of a guy with a huge nose.
A guy with a huge nose. What historical leader had a huge nose?
I looked down at a collection of tools with wooden handles and tarnished metal blades. There were knives, chisels, and spikes fanned out in a semicircle.
Cool.
I guess there's always been a need for home improvement.
Always. Nice chesticles on the gold statue. Well, usually Egyptian statues of women always had very nice chesticles.
It was a tapestry of a lady, a lion, and a unicorn. If I'd had more time, I could have stared at it all day.
I actually know that piece there. This picture. I actually know that. I've seen it once in list verse. I read a lot of list verse here and there. Don't really remember what the meaning behind it is, but I have seen that.
It was a large brass urn. The totem pole looked distinctly out of place in the setting of the museum.
True. Everything here is Egyptian or something else. And then there's a very odd totem pole with a fish on the top.
The totem pole looked distinctly out of...
And also this statue. I'm sure people have seen this statue before.
It was an ancient Egyptian sarcophagus with a beautifully painted effigy of its owner on the lid. It was a
Yes,
stone carving from ancient Egypt.
Monty Python, indeed.
In the case was a spindly tripod, blackened with age and pitted with rust. It was identical to the tripod pictured on the manuscript. A notice identified it as 15th century from Western Ireland. It had been found in Loch Marn at the site of a Knights Templar preceptory. Ireland!
What's that?
This tripod was found in Ireland.
I will have to ask you to keep your voice down.
I'm sorry, I was excited.
So now we know where to go next. Ireland.
Pardon me,
Oui, monsieur?
are you Lobino?
Oh, no. Fancy you mistaking me for him. No. I am the deputy custodian.
But Lobino does work here.
Work? I wouldn't go so far as to call it that. He studies here most days, but as you can see for yourself, not today.
Too bad. We had a lot of questions to ask him.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. Is there any reason why I should?
I guess not. Can you give me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John Dee.
John Dee?
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century. The Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology.
And also, I got a feeling that this guy doesn't really know what he's talking about.
Can I take a closer look at the tripod?
What? Get it out of the case? Ah, no! That tripod is protected by a sophisticated surveillance system.
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
Well, that is definitely very sophisticated and advanced. Painfully loud alarm bell, huh?
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
So it's a pressurized alarm, huh?
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
Well, you gotta give it to him. Simple is sometimes best. Especially when it's a really loud bell, that usually scares the thief.
Do you know anything about the Knights of the Temple?
No, sir. Not a sausage.
How about a wiener? A donut? Cake? A cookie? Where am I listing food items? I do not know.
The sign on the tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
Yeah. It doesn't mention John Dee at all.
Most remiss.
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Wait, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read, so he left them out.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
Yeah.
You know, I never thought of that.
Well-
Do you see? If I studied art and did all my homework, I could be a professor of history.
Why not?
At your age? Dream on.
Hey! Don't be stumping on his dreams. He might be. It may take years, but he might become a professor of history. I mean, he would make a world record. Oldest graduated professor of history. Go for it, man. I believe in you. Several of the tapestries can be seen hanging on the walls of Gryffindor common room in the Harry Potter films. Gryffindor. 5 points. Now, maybe that's where I saw them, in the Harry Potter movies. Huh, makes sense. I'm not gonna ask him about any of this, because he's just gonna give me all telltale stories that
Thanks for your help.
are not helpful at all.
The case contained a collection of rocks. They were all shapes and colors, but they were still rocks. Above them, a sign read, L'âge paléolithique.
And also notice, this is a sundial here. Just notice that. A very early version of a clock. At least I think it's a sundial. No, actually not a sundial. But it's something that I know. Never seen
The
somewhere.
rod turned smoothly, and the window above me opened.
Hey, no! No, monsieur. No.
What's wrong?
You must not handle the exhibits.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I do not know what I'm doing. Just go close the window. Please. So I can do what I need to do. Hide in the sarcophagus, of course. There we go.
ridiculous. I could be here for hours.
Yeah, that's the idea. So we can get the tripod. No. I know you need to hide it there. Maybe I do need to.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Ha! Nice one, Sinlau. Does your dick bat? No. You said that your dog does not bite. But he's not my dog. But my dog has no nose. You got it wrong, Jace. Sinlau was he was quoting Pink Panther. Don't remember which of the Pink Panther movie. I think it was the second one. Yeah, I think it was the second Pink Panther movie. Does your dog bat? I never could do the Clouseau accent. It was so weird
What can you tell me about the collection of coins?
and over the top.
A rare example of silver coinage from the reign of Philippe le Bel. That little old lay buried for centuries in a field on the outskirts of Paris. They're unique. Nothing like them has been found anywhere else in Europe.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure they've been seen out everywhere else. Besides, why should we believe you when you have already told us that you don't know anything about anything?
Who was Philippe le Bel?
You don't know? Philippe IV, the King of France.
Wasn't he the guy who wiped out the Knights Templar?
I have no idea, monsieur. All I know is he was King of France. I
And,
don't even know why he was called Philippe le Bel.
and he was the one who got rid of the Knights Templar.
What can you tell me about the collection of pottery?
Those are remains of pots used by the original inhabitants of Paris. The Paris pot people.
When did they move out?
15,000 years ago, monsieur. Vanished in the mists of time. Didn't even have time to pack up their pots.
Why do we even ask you anything?
I thought the original inhabitants of Paris were a tribe known as the Parisi.
That is right, monsieur. Renowned for their pots. You see, in those days, people didn't have much in the way of possessions. A few flints, some animal skins, maybe the odd bone or two.
And pots.
Naturally, when the Parisi came along with their pots, why, everybody wanted one.
I guess they must have caused a kind of consumer frenzy.
Ah oui, they cornered the market, cleaned up.
I don't think they had a market back in the day.
You don't know the first thing about those pots, do you?
No, monsieur.
That's why I said, why do we even keep asking him?
Do you know anything about medieval manuscripts?
Not me, monsieur. I am no scholar. Although people often mistake me for one. Even
Yeah.
the uniform, I guess. They see the clothes. They are impressed.
And they ask you to park their cars?
They ask me to party. No, no, no.
Ha
They
ballet!
ask you. I am an authority on the exhibits in my care.
Whereas you know next to nothing about history.
Of course not. All I am saying is, I am no scholar. Not like Monsieur Lobineau.
Thanks for your help.
Well, since Lobineau is not here,
The tripod was definitely the one on the manuscript. The Templar connection confirmed it. I was tempted to go to Ireland to check it out.
then let's go to Ireland to check it out. Travel to the other world. Or around the world. To another land of mystery. Airport. Let us go. Lots of places we can go to with stereotypical stuff. Like Lederhosen, Germany. Poor Poland. Russia. Turkey with the belly dancers. Greece with their fezzes and everything. Pizza making. Italy. We got France already. Artistic. And of course bullfighting. Spain. And rainy London, apparently, or rainy British land. Rainy British land. Good on you.
Several hours later, I arrived in Ireland, the Emerald Isle. I'd been lucky to get a bus from Dublin to the tiny village of Lochmarne. On the way out, the driver told me there was only one service a day.
And also, the bus looked really weird because it was 3D compared to everything hand-drawn here. Just looked out of place.
The menu was limited. It read, "No food today." I didn't care. I'd lost my appetite somewhere over the Irish Sea.
I guess you don't handle a flight too well, Mr. Stobart. Oh man, this place. Ugh.
It was a trap door in the sidewalk.
The first time I played this
The
game,
drain was covered with an iron grating, through which I could hear the rush and surge of running water.
the first time when I played this game, if you hear, it's very low to you, I'm sure, but I can hear it clearly. This kid here whistling. Not you birds. I was talking about the kid here whistling. That little tune that he whistles. The first time when I played this game and after I'd done with it, that freaking whistling tune has played in my head for years. It's like a jingle that sticks to your head.
It was a featureless plastic box firmly attached to the wall of the building.
I wonder if I can somehow up the volume for the kid. I wonder if now in here you can. Sometimes I still whistle it. I have whistled it every now and then. It's a very short tune that he whistles. It's like an 8-second tune, but he repeats it over and over and over and over and over and over, and it sticks to your head. And then sometimes when I'm doing something, I just start whistling it myself, and I'm like, oh god, not that one again.
The guy with the fiddle seemed oblivious to everything except his playing. Meanwhile, everyone else in the bar seemed oblivious to him.
Well, he's background music, so what do you expect? He's like the local jukebox. Who else gets the feeling of having to river dance suddenly? Oh, top of the morning to ya, and all
The
that.
guy sat in the corner as if he was a permanent fixture.
Well, he's a local.
There was a vacant look on his cow-like face that said quite clearly, "Nobody home."
More
His
local
elbow
call.
rested on an obviously soggy piece of towel. The white whiskers on the bartender's flushed face were like garlands on a Christmas tree. The resemblance ended there. The top of his head was too slick and shiny to act as a perch for a Christmas angel.
Or like the subtitle says, fairy.
I'd been taught not to judge people by their appearance or their clothes or the length of their hair. Nobody ever said anything about runny noses. The young red-haired guy was plainly nervous about something. Perhaps he felt threatened by the presence of a handsome dude like me.
Oh, stop, George. You're just fooling yourself.
He wasn't listening.
No, because he's playing.
What kind of people is George going to find in the pub? Tune in next time for the next episode of Broken Sword.